And I think we're on. It says I can
Must be
actually
faster.
do a poll too. I have not learned how to do polls on Facebook yet. There, trying to get that lined up. But good morning. Thanks for joining us. We are preparing for the third Sunday in Advent. So that is when we get the rose or pink colored candle for those who have that. Otherwise, the newer ones are for blue colored Advent candles.
I like the old ones with the pink candle.
And so the reason I have the pink candle, that's the only time you can smile during Lent or during Advent.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the reason they have the pink.
That's why you colored this pink.
Yeah.
No.
Boy, you're so...
Yes.
Coordinated.
That and it's what was on top. But yes. And so, yep, and so we got Sunday school programs at St. Olaf Sunday night and at 10:30 at English Sunday morning. So that's always exciting. So we'll see how that goes. Well, let us begin with a word of prayer. Stir up the wills of your faithful people, Lord God, and open our ears to the words of your prophets, that anointed by your Spirit, we may testify to your light. Through Jesus Christ, our Savior and Lord, who lives and reigns with you in the Holy Spirit, one God, now and forever.
Amen.
Amen. Our gospel this week is going to be similar to last week, except for instead of the Gospel of Mark, we're in the Gospel of John, chapter 1, verses 6 through 8 and 19 through 28. John's Gospel describes Jesus as the light of the world. John the Baptist is presented as a witness to Jesus, one who directs attention away from himself to Christ, the true light. There was a man sent from God whose name was John. He came as a witness to testify to the light, so that all might believe through him. He himself was not the light, but he came to testify to the light. This is the testimony given by John when the Jews sent priests and Levites from Jerusalem to ask him, "Who are you?" He confessed and did not deny it, but confessed, "I am not the Messiah." And they asked him, "What then? Are you Elijah?" And he said, "I am not." "Are you a prophet?" He answered, "No." Then they said to him, "Who are you? Let us have an answer for those who sent us. What do you say about yourself?" he said. And he said, "I am the voice of one crying in the wilderness, 'Make straight the way of the Lord,' as the prophet Isaiah said." Now they had been sent from the Pharisees. They asked him, "Why then are you baptizing if you are neither the Messiah, nor Elijah, nor the prophet?" And John answered him, "I baptize you with water. Among you stands one whom you do not know, the one who is coming after me. I'm not worthy to untie the thong of his sandal." This took place in Bethany, across the Jordan, where John was baptizing. The Gospel of our Lord.
2 weeks in a row we have John's story.
Oh, yes. It's about getting ready.
Last Sunday was my brother John's birthday.
Okay.
Yeah. It's a pretty special day.
Yeah, this Sunday is my sister's birthday.
Okay. The one in Atlanta.
Yep. But as I tell her, it's more of a celebration of the anniversary of flight, because that took place on December 17th, too.
I'm sure there's a lot of great things. You know, I remember where I read, you know, the different dates that like 9/11,
Oh, yeah.
the 7th, Pearl Harbor's December 7th. You know,
Yeah.
These dates stick in your mind
Oh, yes.
sometimes.
We went to Kitty Hawk and went through the museum and saw where these guys jumped in this thing and went in the air.
Daredevils.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. It was just, it changed the world.
You haven't been in a glider?
No.
It is unreal. It
It's
is
supposed to be peaceful and-
fantastic.
Quiet, very quiet. Except for my screaming if I
Yes.
went in one.
Yeah. It's all fun and games until the air goes out.
Oh.
Okay, well, once again, we meet John the Baptist, in this instance, through the words of the Gospel writer of John. Like the writer of Mark, the writer of John emphasizes John the Baptist's uniqueness. Unlike Mark's description of the baptizer, the writer of John focuses not on John's unique attire and diet, but rather on John the Baptist's unique role in the good news story of Jesus. John is to expectantly bear witness to Jesus, the light of the world. Clearly, John had a strong following of disciples. Mark's gospel indicates that people from the whole Judean countryside and all the people of Jerusalem were going out to him. He obviously stirred the expectation of the people, so much so that the Jewish leaders sent priests and Levites from Jerusalem to ask him, "Who are you?" Even more clear is John the Baptist's own understanding of his role. He is not the promised expected Messiah. He is not Elijah taken up to heaven in a chariot and expected to return to be the forerunner of the Messiah. Nor is he the prophet, one like Moses who is expected to fulfill the law, leading and guiding the people. No, John's singular role is to testify to the light, to prepare for one who is to come. His message of expectation and witness echoes the words of the prophet Isaiah, "Make straight the way of the Lord." So the first question is, what are some of the roles you have in your daily life?
I have a question before that. So was his immersing people in water and doing this baptism, that was something they hadn't seen before? This was not a ceremony?
I thought they had
it was
washing.
more of it wasn't
They did.
as I don't know if the word common is right. He did it in a different way, but ritual cleansing was part of their.
That's what I thought, because I thought they had baths and stuff
Yeah,
that.
it was a lot of the ritual cleansing, from my understanding, is for the priest to get ready to go in,
Right.
and the other one is for Gentiles to convert.
Oh,
And so
so it wasn't wholly unusual for them to be watching this. I mean,
No.
people were interested, but it
Yeah.
wasn't like something they'd never seen.
no, it wasn't something that was unseen. It just wasn't.
But
What they
instead of preaching gospel in the temple, he was out in the
Yeah.
wilderness. And,
Yeah.
Right.
And
Yes.
they're like, what's going on
Yeah.
here?
This is unusual.
But let's go. The role we have, grandma taxi service, chicken taken care of,
Yeah.
picking
Yeah.
eggs.
Chicken rancher.
Yeah, I guess.
I've had to find out about farming.
Yeah.
I'm being grandma, being mom. We're still
Yeah.
moms.
Moms.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we're moms. We're church leaders. We, do what we need to in the church. Altar guild, serve for funerals, and
I think another role we play that we don't think of that way, but that is hugely important, is being a friend.
Yeah. Friend.
So, yeah, a lot of different ones.
Yeah. No, I mentioned that one of the ways to know that John probably wasn't married and didn't have kids is, one of my best ways to name myself is I'm Sadie's dad or Sophia's dad, because that's how the kids know me.
Yeah, yeah.
But yeah.
this one lady came up to me last night, and she said, because I haven't been at the school because they don't need a volunteer, and is, "Oh, can I call you Mom?
Oh,
I miss you."
that was
As
nice.
one of the teachers at Paris.
Sure.
And I miss them too. I enjoyed making a relationship and being a volunteer, and
Sure, of course.
Yeah.
lots of roles. I mean, they just go on and on.
Yeah.
But you're right, friend is huge
One. Yeah.
to have that. I'm still a nurse. You're still a teacher.
That's what the kids say.
Yeah. So, what is your role as a disciple of Jesus?
Well, to be kind and
Try to live the life of a Christian. Try to live what you say you are, to what you
listen to
profess on Sunday, and try to keep that going all week. And
Yeah.
the spirit is willing, but
Oh yeah.
but to try and try to be a good role model. Try to be welcoming. I think about people coming to church. There are people we don't see that often, but when they are there, you hope. I don't even know if that's the right way to put it. Just want it to be a welcoming atmosphere. It's important.
Coming back home.
Yeah, Yeah. And that there's a comfort there because you need that comfort. I mean, yes, I know you're supposed to stir us up too, but
Yes.
yeah, you
But
like
it's a
to-
safe place. Maybe that's a better way to
It
say it.
should be.
It should be, is right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But not everyone feels that way.
Doesn't that song make me your sanctuary?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Lord, prepare. Yeah, I can't sing it. I shouldn't sing it.
Sanctuary. It's okay.
You make a joyful noise. That's a good
So do I.
part of it. So,
So I guess that goes a little bit on to what are some of the expectations associated with these roles, and are they clear to you?
no, we don't always pick up on what we do. It's kind of like, oh, duh, I should have. You know,
I suppose
or
you
you're
have,
so busy in something, you
Yeah.
don't see it until you sit down and you think about, oh, darn it, I missed an opportunity.
Christmas. You get so caught up in the routines of what we're supposed to do that you miss opportunities to maybe do something you should have done. I don't know if that makes sense, but you just get so
Distracted.
Yeah. It's coming at
But
you
if
from
you,
everywhere.
you know, missing opportunities, you have to know about what you can do too.
Yeah.
You know, but if you just stay in your little
Bubble.
house and don't ever venture out, you're not doing
You
what
stay
you
warm
could be.
that way.
Yeah.
But you're not doing what you could. And the way this weather is, it's just conducive
yeah.
to that. And so I'm not going to stay home.
There has been an example of charity in our church by people, and it might not always be church members. That box in the hallway.
Yeah.
Linda empties it out every week, and it fills up again.
We have boxes for hats, mittens, scarves.
New hats and
Yeah,
the
new-
caps,
new,
new
yeah.
hats and stocking
Yep.
caps, and it's been
I
phenomenal.
gotta remember to bring mine. I bought them and left them on my table. But yeah.
Yeah.
And then, well, I think that's the other thing, talking about our defined role as disciples, is to be more like John, is to let our light point towards Jesus. You know, to live lives that people know that there's something different. As hard as, you know, as Paul said, the evil I do not want to do is what I do, and the good I want to do, I do not do. I mean, we're not perfect, but let's try to live lives that make people notice and wonder, and so, yeah. Okay. Well, the light is rich with symbolism in John's gospel. It is God's creative, life-giving word, active and present in a dark world. John the Baptist's role is to serve as a window to that light, pulling back the curtain so the light could be seen. Through his call to make straight the way of the Lord, John the Baptist paves the road for Jesus. He challenges people to clean the film and dust of sin away from the light so that the light can be seen. Note that one of John the Baptist's the one John the Baptist anticipates. Okay. The one that John the Baptist anticipates and about whom he testifies is already present and stands among you. John's role is secondary to the one who comes after him. John is not worthy to untie the thong of his sandal, a humble act of a servant or slave. John the Baptist's witness and expectation comes to the fulfillment in Jesus. As the gospel story continues, the next day John sees Jesus coming towards him and says, "Here is the Lamb of God who takes away the sin of the world." For John, for the disciples of every age, testimony bears fruit. Expectation finds fulfillment. All in the person of Jesus, the light of the world. So how does Jesus fulfill your expectations?
Just by knowing that I have been given this gift. I mean, it's such a wonderful feeling to know that you have this connection to him.
I think about, the radical teaching, that how he brings everybody, seeks to bring everybody in.
Yes,
As far as
and
really
people are
breaking down
blindsided.
barriers. Yeah.
They've got to, yep.
He does. He reaches out.
They've
to
got
people
blinders on
Oh, yeah.
for those people that are different.
that
Yeah.
we still do.
I know, but that's why you look at that triangle.
there was a video that I happened to catch, a little clip. It was on Facebook, and I usually don't look at them when I go past them, but this one intrigued me. So there was a father and son standing in front of Buckingham Palace, where they have those guards that stand completely still.
Yep.
And the boy was autistic, and he was wanting to touch the guard in his uniform, and the father kept pulling him away. It turned him around, that someone was taking this video, of course, and had him turned around and kind of had him so that he didn't.
Yep,
and all of a sudden, the soldier, the guard, very slowly stepped over next to them so that he was closer to the boy. And the boy turned and looked at him, and the look on his face, and then the boy went like this, and then very slowly the guard moved back into position. It was the loveliest moment of kindness.
Yeah.
How
think I've seen
touching.
that.
Yeah, it was just on, one of those
Yeah.
scrolls that go.
Yeah.
I think I saw that on there.
So, there's a moment, there's a light that if you were having a rough day, that kindness just
Yeah.
lifted you.
And that special young man who had special needs, they just
And he
helped.
recognized that
Yeah.
this fellow who he didn't, yeah, so anyway.
Yeah.
Every once in a while something like that will touch
Oh,
you.
Yeah. I think, that's the breakthrough, is that is you talk about the soldier stepping over, that's the other thing about God, is God coming to us. The Emmanuel is, no matter what happens in the world, we know we have a God who can reach to us. Okay, now we come to the word among us. Expectation. It's an interesting word. We speak of a young woman anticipating the birth of a child as expecting. We use it to articulate that which we anticipate. Expectations are not pie-in-the-sky hopes and dreams with no basis in reality. Rather, there is a certain level of confidence that the anticipated hope will reach fulfillment. So what do you expect might happen this week? And how confident are you that your expectations will become reality?
we are going to be tickled to death to see those kids on Sunday night.
Yeah, Christmas programs, yeah.
Yeah, which is always just.
Pam will have a nice hot cup of coffee
Yes,
for us.
yes. Well, I think we, you hope that with each and every week that everyone stays safe
Yes.
and are happy, and you hope
Yeah.
for people to be. You hope for a week of well-being.
Yep.
But yeah, the Christmas program kind of kicks off Christmas.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Those little kids who have no idea how much fun they are to watch.
I found a cute little program that the Kotke kids do for
Oh,
Christmas
yeah.
called the Fumbling Angels. And
Yeah.
Put that on, huh?
yep, we'll do that. So I'm going to be getting ready my own little Christmas program for
Yeah.
our family.
Yeah, I know my sister's flying in this weekend, so I get to see her for a little
Oh, should be with your mom
how
for a
often
while?
do you get to see her?
bit. A couple times a year.
Okay.
Will she
Older
stay
or
with
younger?
Younger. Yeah.
Will she stay with your mom for a while?
Oh, we're gonna meet in the cities
Oh,
for burr night.
Well, that's a great thing.
Oh yeah.
That's a
Well,
great
our
thing. A little mini.
expectation is the weather will be good for you, because it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
the weather this weekend is supposed to be awesome. I'm getting scared about Christmas, so
we
it's
have
10
no-
days out, so the forecast can change. But right now, it's
Sometime.
It depends on who you talk to.
yeah. So
The
it's-
guys in Sioux Falls, it's going to be nice till after Christmas.
Oh, yeah.
we're on the edge of a little bit of. I'm not worried about the snow. It's the fact that we're going to go from 40 to 25.
No, freezing rain.
And when is that? It's going to hit
We
the
could
freeze
do
the road.
something in there. Yeah.
So yeah. So that's the hard part about expectations. Sometimes things jump in the way.
It's true. It's true.
Okay. Well, there is a saying often heard from teachers and counselors: the measure of what people will achieve often reflects the expectations others have on them. Expect low expectations, and the person will live down to them. expect great things, and the person is challenged to stretch and grow. So what do you expect of a disciple of Christ? And what might God's expectation be? You know, this is the hard one for me is there are some congregations that are very high expectation where everybody will be there every week and they will be doing things each day of the week. And as a Christian, we should be doing things every day of the week to at least represent Christ.
Yeah.
But I also realize that not everybody is there, and how do we include them, that those that aren't there into
It's not a checklist.
No.
yeah.
And we just discussed that coming here, the conflicts that have come up for our kids in our area, dealing with, it isn't just the pageant,
No.
it's long socks,
Sports,
they,
other
yes,
plays,
so,
family gatherings.
so, yeah, well,
Kids are busy nowadays.
Yes.
yeah.
Days are
But,
busy.
you know, but if you go and do something in the church and you expect that 100% you're going to, you just gonna make yourself, but knowing that whatever seeds are out there that you've planted over the years, that'll help encourage and
Yeah.
build relations.
I think the other part too is, you know, even when we're not in the churches, how are we living that
Absolutely.
out? Because that's, you know, everybody expects it when you're in church.
Right.
It's what happens when you're outside of the church. I mean, that's still the hard part to hear is, you know, I just remember I had a survey a few years ago, and they talked to waitresses and waiters and said the best way to know you're going to have a bad table is if they start praying at the beginning of their meal. And it just struck me as that should be the
Really?
opposite. Yeah, they are.
Oh, yeah.
They tend to be the most requiring of additional
Demanding.
aid. They tend to be
Really?
the lowest number of tippers. Still remember the picture that came along with it is large group went out to eat Sunday morning, and for the tip they wrote, "Oh, we already gave at church." It was like, I think we've missed the expectation that we have for ourselves. Is we should be the people that walk in and they should be expecting the hugest tip. You know, they
I
should be
tried to
expecting
do
the
that.
friendliest service
Yeah, or just not
or
rude.
friendliest response. Yeah,
Yeah, not rude.
That's a
I've
good
seen-
way to be.
Yeah, I've
That's a
seen
good way
that.
to
yeah. It's just
People are trying to make a living.
how do we be nice to everybody,
Yeah. And it's
to love everyone. There it is.
Yeah.
You know, Sadie's trying to figure that out. You know, how do you love even the annoying kids in class?
I told Fred the same thing. It doesn't ever get easier. You're going to be in the workforce and you're going to have to deal with people that
Yes.
are dumb. You just gotta.
Yeah.
It's not easy
Adjust.
for a kid to get to handle that because they're still forming themselves and taking a hit from some kid at school who's happened to be a jerk that day is not easy to deal with.
Well, I think that's the other part too that we get with that when we do it to our kids, though, is if you expect better, hopefully you'll get better.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, and that's the struggle is how do we make sure not to expect? Because I've seen it the other way around. She comes home with friends who are expected to have 100% on every test, and the stress they're going through, and it's just like, I told her, don't fail out of school and be nice to people.
Oh, gosh.
You know, but it's, you know, you can go both ways with the expectation.
My sister did a lot of hiring of different people, and she said when they look at that, they do not want the A students because they are already know that their way has to be done that way. You know, your average students make much better employees because they're willing to work and do better and
It's
and
all
so
it's all individual. It's,
Yeah,
you know,
it is
it's an
attitude.
individual thing
but
too.
I mean these people that think they have to have 100%, which on certain things in my nursing skills that had to be 100% because you didn't want to fail.
Nope.
But that's a different,
It's a different world.
Yeah.
yeah.
But I think that's the hard part is the other expectation is, as we see John, is to know who you are. I mean, I think that's the struggle I think you're pointing to is some of the people who get all A's, get 100%, sometimes look to themselves. But there's a lot who are just do it because their expectation has been made that they can do it and they have the ability to do it.
And maybe that's it too. They do have the ability to be 100%ers.
But another thing that kids especially need to deal with is failure. How do I deal when I fail? How do I cope with that? And if I don't have
Isn't that
coping
what
mechanisms,
Bill Gates said is the one thing you have to do to be successful is to fail.
Yeah, to learn from your
Yeah.
mistakes.
And it's not the end of the world.
No, to pick up and move on. Yeah, that's a tough thing to learn too.
Yep. Oh yeah, failure is good. I've practiced it quite a bit.
But it got you to where you are
I
today.
know.
This is
And-
the path. This
Yeah.
is the path.
Oh, you're gonna make me go into the Mandalorian. This
Yeah,
is the
I
way.
know. I love that. I know.
Oh yeah. Well, John the Baptist had high expectations. He anticipated the coming of the Christ. His life's mission, his life's expectation was that of pointing to the promised Messiah. Time and again, he directed attention away from himself and toward Jesus. Even though others didn't readily recognize Jesus as the fulfillment of their expectations, he tirelessly said, "Look, see the Christ who is present in your midst." As disciples of Christ, our life's expectation, like John the Baptist, is also to point to Jesus. We are called to look with confidence into the future and anticipate the fulfillment of God's promises. We are called to look with confidence into the present and point out how God is here, active and moving. We are called to look with confidence into the past and bear witness to how God has been at work, even when we fail to see it at the time. Past, present, and future, all full of expectation. So the questions are, how is God here active and moving in your life? And how is God here active and moving in the life of the church? Yeah.
I think one of the big things is that we constantly study and grow with the times. You know, I'm just listening to, I guess there's an interesting film about the fall of Minneapolis
Oh.
and and how that all came down, and we need to strive to do better
Yeah.
about so many things, and I think that's how we need to keep moving forward in the life, and we'd never learn from our mistakes, but looking at mistakes and trying to see what we can do, and actively being nice and kind, and
Well, if you don't learn from your mistakes, you keep making them, and so yeah, it's see God at moving, opening our eyes to what's happening to others, so we can better understand.
paying it forward, giving
Yeah.
the waitress a good tip.
Things that you actually can do. There are things that's
Oh,
so
yeah.
out of your hands that are, happening all the time that are.
Or yeah, I know it's not as exciting, but I know I got the mail yesterday. I'll let you guess what I got in there. I got about a half dozen organizations that it's their end of the year fundraising
Yes,
drive. And,
yes.
if they want to keep the mission going, and
How many did Martin get? Just
Every day.
and he never threw anything away.
No.
yeah, and so it's part of it's deciding on which group you want to give to support
absolutely.
whatever ministry there's doing,
And there's so much need out
Yes.
there. That's the overwhelming thing. More all the time.
and so it's, and I usually direct people to choose some that connect with you, and assume that there are others will connect to, and between all of us, we get it funded. I think what they say it's Chitech, they need about $50,000 to finish the year. Yeah, they had a small water leak.
Oh.
And they couldn't find it, so that meant they had to dig up a huge portion of the water line to be able to find it. because it leaked, but it was leaking so badly it was coming up far away from the leak.
Yeah,
So-
well, we've had that
Yeah.
on the farm too,
Yep.
and it's frustrating, but it,
And then I think about God here and active in the moving life of the church. Yeah, we get to see a lot of that on Sunday with the kids singing in the fellowship,
Yes.
and it's good to have everybody together.
Keep it going.
Yeah.
Keep it going. As much as you can.
Marissa posted a picture of Bennett and Lauren
Yes,
getting
with their Bibles.
their smiles say it all.
Oh, yeah.
It's just cool.
That's right. You had Bible Sunday at St. Louis.
We did. We had everything.
Yes.
I mean, it was.
That's what
was
Pastor
just
Steph said.
I know.
awesome.
I think
it was awesome.
Yeah.
It makes it fun.
Yeah.
Okay. So all this looking is directed not to ourselves, but to the one who is the true light, Jesus Christ. The gospel writer of John offers a wonderful description of the attitude of a disciple: to be a witness, to testify to the light, so that all might believe through him. He himself was not the light, but he came to testify to the light. So how might you expect God to be present in your life this week?
I always just getting up in the morning, being able to have another day to try and get it right, or to just enjoy, So how to be present in your life, life's a gift.
Yeah.
Life's a gift. And we have
Amen.
so much sickness and so
Oh,
much
yeah.
illness and so much struggling just within our little community that, yeah.
I was thinking that, I was amazed. Monday I went out to the farm to feed the cat and was watching explosions happening in the sky in front of me. We have a meteor shower this week,
Cool.
and how there's no clouds in the sky, and so you're just walking out there and the stars were just really bright. I guess tonight's supposed to be the best night to watch
No
them.
kidding.
Of course, it's
Which
from
way
midnight to 2. I didn't look to see which way to look. I was going north.
Okay.
But yeah, from midnight to 2, it's supposed to be best. But I know Monday after the music program, I went out.
Yeah.
That was a good music
Yes, it
program
was.
too.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Cute,
Excellent.
cute.
Yeah, it was one I could relate to, at least part of the program.
The Grinch part, huh?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Very cute.
Yep.
They were.
They did a good
They
job.
were, yes, indeed.
And then how might you point to the true life, Jesus Christ, during this week? What might prevent you from doing so?
We're getting caught up in preparations for Christmas and forgetting, the reason for the season. And I don't know.
Yeah.
I have to serve coffee on Sunday, so so I'm gonna make a trip to Marshall and
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah. So
Yeah, I'm going to have to serve coffee. I've gotten lazy. I just called Dave and said, can I get a thermos?
yeah.
Well, that works too.
And Wanda, yep.
Yeah.
and
Then
Wanda.
it's already done up,
Yep.
yeah.
And then I think the other way to point to Christ is, the way we are kind and notice others. I mean, it's sometimes just through the simplest things of waving, greeting, opening a door.
I think that's it. Making a connection to people, greeting them,
And where does that come from? Basically we're animals. So where does that thought enter us to be kind? How does that serve us? And we do it. Am I making any sense with this?
It's because
we've been shown that.
it's one, it's
Don't
been
you
taught,
think?
and 2, it's beneficial to us because if we're kind, others will be kind. It's sort of like if you
Not
watch.
always.
I know.
Not always.
It's sort of like if you watch Prairie Dogs, or I think it's Meerkats.
Oh, yes.
They need the whole community to watch for predators to keep them safe.
And they,
We aren't so much watching for predators, but we're watching for things that happen to take care of us. I mean, we see it in Tennessee with the tornadoes, where others are able to come in.
Yes.
I mean, it's how do we
Yes.
care
It
for
was
those.
so cold for them,
Yeah.
too.
Oh, it's
It was
just,
freezing, yeah.
you know, if you can remember, you start whining about your own little petty, and then you have to think of the big picture. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's petty.
But it's all about me.
Yeah.
We get stuck in that sometimes.
We do.
I think that, what might prevent you from doing it is we get
Well.
stuck in that all about me.
Something is kicking us to try and do
Yeah.
better. Yeah.
And then how can you support others as they strive to testify to the light of Christ?
I think about the kids at church. You know, about the Sunday school, what they do with the kids, or you know, what has always been done with the kids, and the excitement they have, and the feeling they get when they come into the building. And
Well,
The light.
I look at it as two, Adam and Anna were close friends all through their life. And they shared something. I know Adam told me this when he was in 3rd or 4th grade. I don't remember when they took community.
Fifth grade.
5th grade. No,
Yeah.
it was younger than that. But
okay.
anyway, we had something going on, and he said, you know, we're the only two in school that go to St. Olaf. I said, well, then that makes you two pretty special. Yeah. And now their kids are buds, and it's just wonderful to see.
Yeah.
It's just wonderful to see that we have it. And for myself, Tina and I have been friends our whole life. Shelley Nelson too. You know, that goes all the way back, and those relationships you just keep building over the years. You just make them better, and I think it comes from our family and our church, and in how we are together. Make it a community other people want to live in.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the other part too that leads to that is, the patience, the grace for others to, just to give space. Yeah, I know I hear online people don't like participation trophies, but it makes a difference when we applaud the kids when they're singing, because it encourages them to want to do it more.
They say that it's very important for adults to recognize kids and
To affirm them.
grandparents'
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
interaction with them,
Yeah.
even if they're doing poorly.
To be loved.
Be
I think that was one of the scariest things I learned when I first started looking at working with youth. As they said, all it takes for a kid to succeed is to one person to love them.
I think they know that.
And that was such a depressing thought, that there are enough kids struggling that because they can't find.
No,
And so, it's
but
just,
those aren't necessarily the ones that we have in our church, but
No.
they are in our community
Yeah.
if we can reach out to them.
Yeah.
That's our
That's how do we do
job
that.
as a leader of our church, to be in our community,
Yeah.
to be with, be present for the whole community. I'll get off the soapbox.
I'll put it back.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, thank you for joining us today. We'll end with the prayer here. Come, Lord Jesus, and be our guest. Grant us expectant hearts that we might bear witness to your coming in our midst.
Amen.
Amen. Isaiah 61 is the Old Testament lesson where the prophet has come to bring good news. And then the last word is this week, be aware of your expectations of yourself and others. Worship this week will be a little bit different. We are at St. Olaf and Trinity at 8:30 for regular services. At 10:30 we are at Dovry for a regular service. At 10:30 we are at English with the Christmas program. And then at 5:30 we have the Christmas program at St. Olaf.
I think it's 5:30.
I think it's 5:30. Okay, watch Facebook to make sure if I'm wrong.
Followed by the potluck.
And followed by a potluck, so it's an exciting time. Another way to hear the message. I think that's about it. And so, will God be with you?